Hello everyone, welcome back. Till now we have covered about the basic of IBM App Connect Enterprises. So before this we have learned that the difference between IBM integration bus and the IBM App Connect Enterprises. So we have seen that the till version 10, that is IIB, it follow the node based approach where we used to create the integration node, and we used to create under integration node we used to create the integration server, and under integration server we used to deploy the application. And we have seen that from the version 11, that is the IBM App Connect Enterprises version 11, 12, and the latest one is the 13. It has been categorized into two parts, that it has been further categorized into two parts, and you have given a option that you want to deploy your server, you want to deploy your application on premise or on the cloud. So there, and the design of the architect is also different. So if you want to deploy your solution on premise, then mainly we follow the node based design where we deploy your solution into the, we first create into the integration node, under that we used to create under the integration server, and we deploy application under the integration server. But whether and the second approach is the directly to the integration server deployment. Especially if you are running your server on cloud and using the container, so we use the architect like that. We directly create the integration server, which is also called as a independent integration server because it does not depend on the integration node. And we deploy the application directly to integration server. That's called the independent integration server. So these two we are going to learn separately. So first we will be starting the node based design, and secondly, once we cover the node based design, then we are going to cover the independent integration server approach, and we are going to create a solution and we are going to deploy and test the solution. So let's first start with the node based design. When learning the node based design, the first question came in your mind. So this is suitable for the on premise and the virtual machine. So it is not bounded to the on premise and the virtual machine. If you are still following the node based design in the IBM is, you have the option to, you can deploy the node based approach also to the cloud. But this is suitable for the on premise especially. IBM suggests that if you are using the on premise, it is, you can use the node based design, and if you are using the cloud, you can use the independent integration server approach. But it is not bounded that you have to use if follow same pattern. It is just a suggestion. If mainly if you are using the node based design, you can deploy your solution to on premise also, and you can deploy your solution to the cloud also. Okay, but the suitable, this is suitable for the on premise and the virtual machine. Further, in node based design, basically it follow the architect like that. First it is the integrations node is there. Under integration node we have the integration server, and in integration server you used to deploy the application, and under application we have the message flow that actually help us in processing the message. Now this is the actual the architect of the, so this is the architect of the node based design. So in node based design we are going to create the integration node. Under integration node we are going to create the integration server, and under integration server we are going to deploy our application, and under application we have the message flows that basically responsible for processing the message between applications. So why I have written broker and in beside that? Actually, till earlier on the older version we called this integration node as a also broker and integration server as a also as a EG. EG means execution group. So if I am saying in further in future in the further like that broker, then you can understand like that integration node. And if I am saying that EG or execution group, then you can understand like that integration server. Because still the people are referring the name like that EG and broker, because these are some commonly used by the people. So you can, if broker and integrations node are the just a name of the same thing, and EG and integration server are just name of the same thing. So let's go to the definitions of each one of them. When talking about the integration node, the runtime engine of IBM App Connect Enterprises and is the integration node. Already told you that IBM is categorized into the two parts like that. First is the toolkit, which is the development part, and the integration node, that is the runtime part. So integration node is the runtime part. Runtime means like that it basically have some space memory, and that and integration node is responsible for the processing the message. All the processing happen under the integration node itself. Okay, and also known as integration broker, that already told you ki also known as a broker or that is integration broker. So also we called as a integration broker. The integration node routes, transform and enrich in flight message based on the message flow and the message models. Okay, so it basically what it does, it process the message, it routes the message based on the logic whatever written under the message flow. So whatever the logic we have written here, whatever the concept we have written here, that broker follow and to process the message. So if I can say, if in simple I can say that integration node is the runtime of IBM ACE and also known as integration broker, and it help us in routing transformation of the message between the application and based on the logic that is written on the message flow. Now coming to the integration server. Integration server is a named group of message flow that are assigned to the integration node. It is saying that it is the named group of message flow that are assigned to the integration node. Let me explain you. Suppose this is the integration node. Under that we have the integration server, and under that we have the application, right? Suppose here there is only one integration is server, and under that we are keeping 10 applications, and out of that 5 applications are critical and 5 applications are non-critical. Okay, so in case there is some issue happen with the application that are not critical, so mostly we follow that we used to restart that applications. So if we combine the critical application and the non-critical application under the same integration server, and in case of some issue happen with a particular one application that is not critical, then we will be not able to restart the integration server. Mostly we have seen that the restarting the integration server resolved the issue. So in case of some process got stuck or some memory got stuck, some like that, some process mostly some process got stopped, due to that application stops the flowing the application stops the processing the message. This type of situation you will be going to see that sometime application is not processing the message, and all the message coming from the source system is just stacking at the application end. This type of thing, thing you will be seeing very common. Okay, so mostly to that we what we used to follow, we refresh the application. So refreshing the application, most of the time it completely does not work. So mostly we follow the refreshing the integration server, basically because integration server also occupies some memory. Okay, and that memory is responsible for the processing the message flow and the application processing message flow that is present inside the application. Okay, so mostly we follow the restarting the integration server, and if we restart, because we cannot restart the broker, because broker is the main component, under that lots of application is running, and it at that if you restart the broker, that basically impacts the business. So we restart the integration server by seeing that the which integration server is how much critical, like that the application running under integration server is how much critical. Okay, that accordingly we used to restart it. Okay, similarly, like that, if I am saying that the suppose there are 5 EG1, EG2, EG3, and EG4 and EG5, and under each EG there are two application is running, application 1 and 2 is similarly like that. Okay, so if EG3 application is not processing the message and that is not critical, then what we can do, and we can restart that EG during the business hour. Then we used to restart that integration server. But suppose if we combine in the same EG application that is critical, and if we restart that EG, then it will impact the business, so we cannot restart the that integration server during the business hour. That's the reason we basically categorize the application based on the how much it is critical to different integration server. That critical application mainly we used to keep into a different integration server, so that if it is required to restart, then we are going to do restart out of business hour, so that it will not impact the business. So that's the definition it is written here, that the integration server is a named group of message flow. It is basically a grouping of message flow that are assigned to integration nodes. So it is basically what is happening here. So it is basically a name that is assigned to a integration node, and under that there are the group of message flow that are running. I can say that like that. So it is the named group of message flow that are assigned to the integration nodes. Okay, now coming to application. I already told you that it refer to the collection of resources that are packaged together to perform a specific integration task, and these resources can include the message flow, subtasks, subflow, and the message sets. Okay, so if I am talking about the application is basically a so application is basically a collections of message. Suppose in application we are going to create a three message flow, and three message flow combinedly creates a one solution that is responsible for sending a message between the source and destinations. So that all combination of message flow basically creates a complete package of solution, and that package of solution present under the application. So that's the reason it is called as a application is basically a complete package. It is the collection of resources that are packaged together to the perform a specific integration task, and the resource can include the message flow, subflow, message sets, and etc. Now coming to the message flow, it is a sequence of processing steps that define how messages are processed and routed through the integration environment. Now talking about the message flow, the message flow basically are the I already told you message flow basically are the responsible for the processing the message, because it basically in the message flow we used to design the solution. We used to design the solution we used to design the solution like that, how message is going to process it, how message is going to transfer it, everything we write under the message flow. So that's the definition for the message flow. It is a sequence of processing steps that define how messages are processed and routed through the integration environment. Okay.